And this investigation is just, it's a great example of what we can accomplish when we work hand in hand with our state and local partners.
How often are you seeing creative tactics that you're still able to overcome in a situation such as this? It sounds like you're able to still find what you were looking for.
It's very common for these drug traffickers to conceal the drugs in very complicated and complex areas on a vehicle. They can be inside. In this case, it was concealed inside the frame of a vehicle. So you had to remove the tire and the struts to actually get to access to the compartment, which was welded shut. So they're very sophisticated, hard to detect. Sometimes it's not that difficult. Sometimes they throw it in a bag in the back seat or in the trunk of a vehicle. But more often than not, they're going to use a more sophisticated way of concealing these drugs to hide it from law enforcement.
It sounds like from what the DOJ shared that some of your agents were actually in contact with this person, working to coordinate a buy of some sort. So it kind of seems like everything fell into place at the right place at the right time, maybe through years of work for this investigation.
Well, for sure. And we're always going to use every investigative technique that we can, whether that includes a wiretap, to undercover operations, to using informants, historical investigations, combining intelligence from our different offices across the country and around the world. And so, yes, in this particular case, we had undercover officers that were in contact in a capacity with this individual. And so we were able to use that intelligence to help locate him and find these drugs. This individual had been previously deported from the United States for being here illegally 6 times in a 5-year period. And so to have these criminal charges on him, to send him to prison, and eventually he will be deported again. It just makes it that much more of a success story, I think. It emphasizes the fact that we're working with our local partners with ICE. They were a huge part of this investigation, and they are a huge part of the outcome here. And so, again, this is just something that highlights that partnership and that collaboration that we have.
How successful do you feel like you've been in Utah specifically over the last 4 months here in 2025 at achieving the goal that you guys set for yourselves and ultimately tracking down where a lot of these things are coming from and pulling them off the streets?
Sure. So we're always focused on disrupting and dismantling the most complicated, the most extensive and sophisticated criminal networks that are operating here in Utah. A lot of that is happening here in the Salt Lake Valley. We're successful in the fact that we're having a major impact. I think we're helping keep our community safe by getting these pills, these fentanyl pills, multiple pounds of meth off of the streets before they're sold and distributed. And we're doing that through collaboration in our partnerships. But on the flip side of that, that's that the fact that we're so busy and we're seizing so many drugs in such large volumes means that there's so much work to be done. The good news is that, yes, nationally, drug overdose deaths and poisonings have gone down, right? We're now under 100,000, and we're somewhere between 85 and 90,000 drug overdose related deaths across the country. That's a good trend, but it just is a reminder that number is still astronomical. There's so much more work to be done. And sadly, here in Utah, we've done the reverse. So we have not followed that national trend. Our numbers have gone up. And so it's just a constant reminder for our investigators here to keep pushing, to work tirelessly. Let's not give up. Let's find those partnerships, work with our state and locals, but also let's get the message out too. Get the message out to the public that that fentanyl, opioids, meth, they're a major problem in Utah, and it's not getting better.